everyone. Welcome to Heart Talks with Dr. Gloria. I'm Dr. Gloria Thomas Anderson, and I am so excited to have my good friend, renowned artist, Frank Frazier, join us today. Exhibitions of his art include shows at the African American Museum, Hempstead, New York, Armour J. Blackburn Gallery, Howard University, Washington, D.C., the Martin Luther King Jr. Library in Dallas, and the Brooklyn Museum. I'm so glad to be talking with my friend of so many years today. For being on my Heart Talks with Dr. Gloria show. It's a show that we started to give encouragement and inspiration to people during the pandemic. And so we would just like to talk with you about all of your experience. I know you've got a lot with the artwork and that you've been doing all over the world. It's internationally known. I even have a friend before COVID hit that I was visiting, and on her whole inside wall of her, like a gallery, was all of your work displayed. And I was so proud and just so excited to see that. But I just wanted to thank you again for just taking time to talk with us. So Frank, we just want to get right into it. What directed you to the art world? I mean, you've been doing this for all of your life pretty much, but what got you started here?
I've always did art. And when I went to Vietnam, I used to take the C ration boxes and do drawings of what was going on. See, I could never spell good or never great with words and all of that writing. So it was much easier for me to express myself through drawings. And I still do that today. And then when I came home from Vietnam, I got a job as a salesman or something, and I was uncomfortable doing that for a long time. And then one day I just said to everybody, I'm going to do my artwork. My mother used to say weird things about being art. You know, back then they thought if you was an artist, there was something wrong with you. You know what I mean? But anyway, she understood. And I'll never forget when my mother went to the first art show, big art show I did. She cried.
Really? I know she had to be proud of you too.
Well, I gave her a nice check too.
Oh, you gave her a nice check.
Yeah, I gave her a check too, because sometimes they don't believe you when you really say you're making a living from it. But I've been blessed. I've been blessed because I knew people like you that kept me comfortable and entertained me as I drove throughout the country. Thank you for that. You can call it service or whatever. Thank you. And don't think it wasn't important to me. See, having people like you and other people with me kept me out of trouble. Think about that.
What kind of trouble did we keep you out of?
You know, being an artist, sometimes I think I had groupies around.
Oh.
And they were around. You know they were around.
Yeah, I know people love your work, and I mean they were. Yep, I know. I do. I remember the groupie.
This kept me safe, and y'all looked out for me.
Yeah.
By the way, I tell you hello.
Oh, tell them I said hello.
You're doing all right.
Wow.
So this thing has affected people more than we imagine. It's really affected me business-wise. But I'm learning to adjust. Like this is the second film I did. This seems to be the new way. I don't like it, but that's the way it's going to be for a while.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it is hard. I know you mentioned that you got a chance to go see your grandchildren, but you couldn't hug them. How did that feel? I want to hear what you're feeling about that.
They understand because I explained it to them. See, people my age, we have to be careful around young people because they can carry this virus and it won't affect them, but it'll affect us. And I've explained that to my grandkids are from the age of 7 through 30 something. I talk to all of them. The bigger ones, they come a little closer. The little ones, we keep them away. And I get emotional,
Yeah.
I cry.
Yeah. Yeah, you're a family person. You always have been.
I love my children, my grandchildren. Even when they piss me off, I still love them.
Yeah, and your beautiful wife Judy, who's
I love my wife. She
ran the
goes,
ran the art museum for a while for you, Visions in Black. I know you guys had that when I was last time in Dallas. You were you still were doing your work through that venue too, given the so people could access how to get your work. Because, like I said, it's in films, it's in movies. I know it was in Waiting to Exhale and some other popular shows, Coming to America. So.
well, we were just talking about coming to America, and I never. You got a minute? Yes.
Yeah.
When they were filming Harlem Nights, I had the opportunity to go there while they were filming. This is a true story.
Okay.
We were there when Eddie Murphy came outside to do the part where he shot her in the leg. We were all standing there. I had my full African stuff on all the way. And they started filming, and he just hollered out, "Stop!" And everybody looking at what's going on. He walked over and said, "Hello, Mr. Frazier."
Oh,
That was just that ego, whatever you want to call it, that just did it for me. And I will never forget that.
yeah, I would never
And I
forget that.
stay in contact with all of them.
Well, I know you know a lot of the stars, and you've done so many benefits for them and all of that. And I wouldn't even know how to start listing them all that I had an opportunity even to see at one of the events that some years ago.
You went there
Yeah,
with Marla Gibbs.
yeah. I got a picture with
Marla
Mark.
Gibbs and Michael T. Williams. You probably don't remember
Yes.
Michael T. Williams. That was the brother in Forrest Gump. That was Bubba.
Oh, that was Bubba. Oh, yeah.
I still keep up with both of them.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome.
I've been blessed.
Yes, you have been. You have been a blessing too, Frank. You still are a blessing.
It works both ways.
Yeah.
It works both ways. Go ahead with the questions. I'm ready.
Okay, well, what I was going to ask you about the challenges that you might have faced as a Black artist in our society, dealing with racism, discrimination, those kinds of things. And I just wanted to get your take on that.
Well, see, my answer to that is a little different than everybody else, because most people talk about coming from the South to the North. Well, my adventure was coming from the North to the South. I rode down there on a trailway bus. I got off. I was thirsty. I went into the bar next door called the Silver Dollar, and I asked him, "Can I have a Coke?" And very nicely, he said to me, "We don't serve niggas." And I realized this man was telling me this nice, but that was my first real adventure with how the world really was. Coming from the North, we didn't see a lot of this, or we didn't pay a lot of attention to it. When we came south, I knew it was there. During the rest of my life, now I've had ups and downs with it. I am a big supporter of Black Lives Matter. And here's the reason why, for me. I'm concerned about Black Lives Matter, not for white folks, for our young Black men, that we have to learn and teach them to teach each other better, and that they are responsible and that their lives are responsible. I don't want to get to preaching on it, but that's what you're making me do. I'm also concerned about the prison system, because I see the prison system as another slave plantation. There's a lot of young brothers that went to jail for silly stuff that they shouldn't be, but that's another way of bringing labor in. But I'm real big on, we got to teach our young brothers, we really got to do that their lives are important. That makes their life important, and their brother's life important, and their mother's life important.
Well, I want to ask you one final question. I'm not going to keep you long, but I wanted all the success that you've had You've had a lot. Years of successful work with the artwork over the world. And like I said, in films, books, theater, everywhere, in the African American Museum in DC, in the MLK Library, just everywhere. And I just want to know from you, what, after all of the success you've had, what really do you think matters most in life?
You hit a good one. It happened today. My grandchildren or somebody that knows me say, Grandpa, I seen your artwork in the movie today. That does more for me than anything, because that lets me know they're paying attention and they come to thank me. See, everybody thinks I'm the star when I'm in front of them, but the audience is the star for me, and that's what's worked. Thank you for your time. I enjoyed it. Peace to the people.
Peace to the people. Thank you, Frank. I love you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.